Yes, we did it. We exceeded our pre-order goal for the Entrepreneur Candle Collection. And in today's video, I'm going to share with you how we did it. So welcome back to BCW Candle Boutique channel. I'm Beverly Wathour, and I'm the owner of BCW Candle Boutique. And this channel is where I take you behind the scenes as I build this candle business into a six-figure brand. And so this video today, when I tell you it's going to be a mixture of celebration, a praise report, and then a breakdown all in one, because we surpassed this goal. And so super excited. And so as you can see, we had a goal of 50 and we actually sold 62 candles. That was our, once again, our pre-goal, our pre-sale goal was 50. We did 62. So I'm going to dive on into this video and share exactly how we did that. So in this video, I'm going to share the vision and the backstory behind the Entrepreneur Collection, the pre-sale strategy that helped us to actually exceed our goal, how I use storytelling and mood matching to connect with my buyers, how I worked in engagement throughout this entire process. And also, I just want to give a word of encouragement to other business owners in the importance of remaining in alignment. And then we're going to talk about what's next with this collection. Okay, so just a little bit of backstory about the Entrepreneur Collection. If you want to see the full description, then definitely make sure that you check out the video that we have on the playlist. And so this particular collection, the Entrepreneur Collection, I'm also a business strategist. And so I wanted to have a collection within the candle business that was specifically geared toward entrepreneurs. And so you actually see one back here in the video, like it's making its debut here in the video. So as you can see, and once again, this one is called Momentum, and it may be hard to see it just because of the lighting and everything. But we have momentum, and I'm going to actually talk to you about the strategy that I'm using with that. And then another one that's burned here. We have our next level, because I want you to see that I'm actually burning these as well. So it's not just something that I have for show, but that I'm actually using it. So we have momentum, that was next level. We have clarity here, as you can see that one. We also have purpose, and we have abundance. So there are 5 candles in the series. And so every candle that we make, once again, we want the name to embody, we want you to embody the name of the candle. So if you're looking to anchor into your why, then light that purpose candle. If you're needed to power through your to-do list, make sure you light the momentum candle. If you have questions or things that you just want to get clear on, then that's the clarity. If you want to embody more in your business, then you want to light the abundance candle. And once again, next level is just that. Like if you're ready to move into that next level, like you're not, like it's time out for playing small. So that is the vision behind the actual Entrepreneur Collection, and wanting to be able to have something for the entrepreneur. And so next, I want to talk to you actually about the pre-sale strategy. And so actually the pre-sale strategy started back with the me just sharing the process about even developing this collection to begin with. And so just hinting to my audience, hey, there's something coming. I'm going to have a collection specifically for entrepreneurs. So it just started with me just teasing it to begin with. And then I got more buy-in when I actually did the testing experiment. So I actually brought in some entrepreneurs, 7 entrepreneurs here in the metro Atlanta area, and they had the opportunity to actually smell and give feedback on the initial candles that were part of the Entrepreneur Collection. And so actually, initially when I went into that, it was 3 candles. And then I came out of that experience with 4. And then a week later or 2 weeks later, ended up with a 5th set for the collection. And so, with that and letting people see like, hey, we've decided that, yes, we're going to do the Entrepreneur Collection. Now we're going to bring in some entrepreneurs to get their feedback on this line. So, that was the next step in the pre-sale. And so once we had their feedback, then I was able to actually use their feedback as a part of my content, to be able to provide and let people know, hey, people who are actually entrepreneurs, they got to experience it, and this were their thoughts on that. So that was powerful when it came to content. So that was that next step. And then when it came time to actually open up for pre-sale, so like I said, I teased all the way along. And then to actually open up for pre-sales, I decided to actually do a live launch for the pre-sales. And so actually, if you look at the channel, you'll see, or go over to the live tab, you'll actually see that live stream that I did. And it was so much fun. The energy during that particular live stream, it was absolutely amazing. And so with that particular live stream, once again, you can go and check it out. I had special incentives for those people that actually place orders, during the live stream, which that was part of the strategy to help go ahead and get a bump in the actual sales, to get those pre-sales rolling in from day one. And so, like I said, we kicked it off with that live event. It was amazing. So I went live on YouTube. I went live on our various social media pages. So over there on Facebook, we went live over there as well. And so that was just a way to kind of get things going. I had messaged my list to let them know, hey, we're going live, we're ready to kick off pre-orders, that it's going to be special incentives for those who were there, live, and all of those things like that. So it was absolutely amazing. So as a result of that live launch, we ended up kicking off with 15 orders. So or 15 candles that were sold. So that was like, whoa. So, that was the kickoff. That was the start of it. And so, that kicked us off. I was able to introduce the line, talk to them about the feedback from those that did the experience, and then also talk to them about the various scents and the meaning behind it. So they got that information as well during the live. And then from that point forward, from the time we did the live until we closed pre-sales, it was, on social media, using my stories, using my email list, and just sharing images of the candles. And once again, we have that signature look with our candles because of the flowers on top. So that's what our signature look when it comes to the candles. So that one is going to grab people's attention. And so because, we sell mainly online, people can't smell it online. So I had to ensure that I use storytelling to allow for them to be able to envision and see themselves, lighting that candle or having that candle as a part of their day to day. And so actually this strategy that I'm using, where anytime I went live or anytime I was on video, I had a candle burning in the background, once again, to kind of get them used to that and seeing that. And so that they can see that you can burn it anytime, it doesn't matter, but, kind of having that to set the tone for your day. And even I would share for just myself, like testimonials, of what things that would happen, based on whatever candle I had burning, and things that would happen, as I had those candles burning. So it was just amazing to see that. And once again, allow for people to connect with the brand story, the story behind the candle. So once again, just making sure that you share that and not just say, hey, buy my candle, but once again, allowing them to actually be able to see themselves with the candle. So once again, the power of storytelling, and once again, sharing the scent story with it. I know that made a huge difference, because once again, they couldn't smell it from themselves. So, being able to share that so that they could almost like imagine what that candle smelled like. So that was how we did that. So once again, the vision and the backstory behind the Entrepreneur Collection, the pre-sale strategy, so things that we did leading up to that. And then we kicked it off with the live event. And then once again, the power of storytelling and just sharing the mood matching and the scent stories with it. So all of those things that we did. And when I say we did it consistently, and almost every single day. So we did that. I shared behind the scenes. So when we were making them, I showed pictures of, the wax, videos, all of those things, like all of those things were shared. So people love behind the scenes. So I made sure that we did that, the setup, the pouring, all of those things. So definitely shared those as a part of the process, once again, to get people engaged and asking questions. So that was the next thing, like that engagement, asking people questions, like which candle, are you going to order? Which one did you order? Or if I was making candles, hey, which candle do you think that I'm making? Like those types of things. Once again, getting the engagement up on social media, on my email list, like those types of things, and being able to leverage that. So that made a huge difference. And like I said, just the encouragement, keeping people updated. Hey, we sold this many. Hey, we only need 5 more to go to reach our goal. Like that type of thing, because I think having buy-in like that from your audience is important, because once again, it makes them feel like they're a part of the process. And so so we did that, and then that last push that actually helped to increase like that sense of urgency, even with the pre-sales, like the price point, that was one thing, because when we actually launch it after pre-orders have been fulfilled, the price point is going to go up. So having that, and then literally we closed down pre-orders on May 28th. And at 11:59, we were like, hey, at that, we had to cut it off, because once again, we're going to start shipping that first week in June. So I had to make sure that we have enough and all of that stuff like that. And so we just wanted to make sure like there is a real sense of urgency because we do need to get these in. And then also another key part is that once the orders have been shipped, I'm going to shut it down as far as being able to order, because what I want to do is make sure everyone gets there, they get out there, and I actually start getting feedback. Because once again, we got feedback from those that did the event, but I also want to get feedback as people start to get theirs and smell those and like theirs, and the things that happen. Because one young lady, she actually got the opportunity to get some samples. She had ordered from the Classic Collection, and because she's a very huge supporter, I also sent her some samples from the Entrepreneur Collection. And so she actually shared a testimonial of what happened as a result of her lighting the candles. And so, I want to get more of those testimonials in. And then as I get those in, so once we ship the candles out from the pre-orders, then the website will probably be down about a week or two, as I wait on those things, and that also gives me time to restock and all of that stuff. And in all honesty, we actually sold out of the abundance candle. Like, this one actually sold out because we went ahead and started making some of the pre-orders. And that one actually sold out, so we actually have to make some more, of the abundance candle. So that was excited to actually sell out on one of those and have to make more, so that we have them to be able to fulfill the pre-orders, as we start shipping those and getting those all packaged up and everything too. So I just want to encourage you, those of you that are business owners, and sometimes there's a lot going on in the world right now, and so just having that encouragement, I do want to encourage you, to stick to the vision that you've been given, to remain in alignment with what it is that you've been given when it comes to your business, and to not give up on it and just watch what happens. Like, once again, there are people out there, for your product or your service, if walk in obedience with what it is that you've been instructed to do. And once again, you can do, just like I said, we exceeded the goal and we were more than happy. Some people were like, well, how come you didn't set a goal of 100? Because then that means we have to make 100 to make sure, that they're ready. I just knew, what I would be able to handle, because once again, the candle business is one business, and then I'm also a business strategist. So, I do coaching as well. So I literally run two different businesses. So I knew that I could handle, at least 50, or 50. And that, that was a push. So 62 that we did, I'm like, okay, hey, that's just 12 more. So we can definitely get those in there. So like I said, I'm super excited. Once again, I just want to encourage you to make sure that you remain in alignment. And so the final part that I want to share is what's next. So, we have now shut down pre-order. So like I said, that now gives us an opportunity to make sure that we have enough candles to go ahead and get shipped out. And we are actually going to do a live packing party. So I'm super excited about that. So you definitely want to make sure that you stay tuned to the channel. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel so that you get notified when we actually do the live packing party. And so during that, we're literally going to pack orders, so I'm inviting everyone who put in an order to come in during the live packing party. During that, we're going to also send out samples so they can see the ones that they didn't order. They'll be able to get samples so they can smell those scents to see if that's something that they do want to order, that type of thing. And then we may also have some surprises during the live packing party. So you definitely want to make sure that you join us for that. It's such an amazing energy, especially if you missed that when we did the pre-sale order party, that live launch. It was amazing. The energy is amazing. And so you definitely want to make sure that you check us out on the live packing party. So once again, make sure that you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you have the notifications turned on, check out our website, all of that stuff, and get on our email list so that you know exactly when things are going to happen and when things are popping off. So once again, I wanted to come on here and just share with you what we did to be able to exceed our pre-order goal. Once again, make sure that you subscribe to the channel. This is all a part of the Glow Up series that we are doing, where I'm taking you guys with me behind the scenes of showing you how I'm going to build this candle business into a six-figure brand. And so you guys, once again, thank you so much for joining, and make sure that you join us for the live packing party. Stay tuned so that you know the date and time for that. Until next time, take care.